like we've been learning for like 3 years at university that what makes theater different from TV and film and blah blah. It's the liveness of it, and now we are trying to put it towards like through a lens again.
Because I know you, and I know whatever I say, you won't look at me like, what is she talking about?
I will. I'll look at you like that. It's fine.
Yeah,
But as long as I'm happy, in 10 years.
I really hope you
fine.
don't struggle that much with the property anymore, Steph.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
trust.
God, you've had a
Trust. I'm still uncertain about stuff that's in the
right now. I feel like I look quite young, but then I was like, just chatting with him, we're just like networking or whatever, and then he was just like, "How old are you, by the way?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm 21." It's like, "Oh, you look a lot older," and I'm like, okay, thanks."
Oh yeah, you call me when you win an Oscar and you're 6, and you don't even know what that is, what that means, but people start drawing the line for you.
Good. Hello, everyone. Proceed by Dragon Theatre Company. As usual, we have Joshua, Yava, Brian, and Steph. Steph is joining us for the first time. Today, we are talking future ambitions.
Yes.
And theatre and all things post-lockdown, probably.
Please. So maybe we should kick it off in general with like, what do you think sort of the future of theatre is after this? Because this has clearly had a very profound effect on the theatre industry. I guess I'll start by saying that I think that there's going to be so much more online content available after this, just because like the fact that there have been like online workshops and things like that shows that it is possible to bring in people who are also willing to pay just to see the workshop being taking place as well. And it makes it a lot more accessible to disabled people who can't like make certain journeys or have certain things that stop them from doing the workshops the fullest extent that they can. So I am remaining slightly optimistic in that regard about the future of the theatre industry. Brian's on his porch, by the way, so if you do hear then it might be him.
I'm sorry, I can just go. I mean, I can just, you guys can stay and talk. No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, I mean, I am remaining optimistic as well. And you know what, for me, if I could just like conclude the whole lockdown situation with one image in my head, it would be that guy with the poster saying that meeting could have been an email. Yeah, so I feel like now we really see what is actually important, because sometimes, you know, you have a meeting, but then it's gonna take like 1 hour to like talk through this stuff. Maybe we can just fit it in an email. But sometimes I feel like I could just write an email, but I really want to see people. So like today with the workshop, you know, you could just like write stuff down as a response to being in lockdown as an artist and stuff, but it's just nice to see people, even if it's just on screen. And there are some days you don't want to see anyone and you're just like, oh, it's lockdown. But then there are days where you really want that contact, and I feel like even if I see people just on screen, it makes it a bit better. Like I feel like I've already done something in a day if I get to see people on Zoom.
And this is talking quite a lot about the workshop we did this morning. But like something that I mentioned in it is that I, as a person, really don't mind virtual sort of interactions with other people, just because it's something that I'm really used to. I spent the majority of my time in my teenage years having like sort of calls with my friends playing video games together. And I had a long distance relationship. That was the first time I ever had like a relationship, I guess. So I'd be used to having calls that lasted like 12 hours long, and I'm like, this just seems normal to me. And I know that like it's definitely something very, very alien to sort of the rest of us. I feel, because I feel like I just do have a quite a marginally different upbringing to the rest of the group in general with that. But how are you guys finding it?
I'm quite the opposite, honestly, because for me, I have a good relationship with technology. Not in terms of like I don't like it. In terms of like I never try to use it as much as I could, as much as the time we live in. So this is becoming actually challenging, not only to start like developing some skills and like trying to figure out the communications and the way it works, but also getting theater inside it as well. So that's why I'm feeling a bit behind with what's going on around the world, because it's not only about being able to communicate immediately now, but also like trying to create artistic content and things like this. But no, I'm getting there, and it's definitely the time to learn now, because everyone is moving towards that direction.
I yeah, I agree with Steph, because like there's a lot of things that I didn't think about before that I'm like learning to do now. But at the same time, I feel like, since the start of lockdown, like so many theater companies have started doing like projects online, and I feel like we are already competing a little bit in like who is using the green screen and who's like doing, I don't know, like videos for the Instagram, like, because it started like all very like simple with people doing lives at their home or like answering simple questions, and like now I think we've elevated the level of professionalism that we expect from like these digital mediums and these digital workshops and everything, which I think it's just making people more aware and like working more towards like perfecting the usage that they're doing with this medium. At the same time though, like what Josh was saying before about what's it going to be like after this, and I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's going to die down, like it's going to die down a little bit, like there's not going to be as much stuff, although I think it was good because a lot of emerging companies like us, and just emerging artists in general, like I think that we have thought about these things because it's free and you can just put workshops online, or you can do a play and like record it and put it online for everyone to see, and there's much more exposure. We do know about that, but I think at the same time no one was really open for it. Like the audiences weren't. If you are a person that likes to go to the theater, I don't think you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna give these guys a chance and watch their play online, but now you're forced to do it, so you kind of open the possibilities, I guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad though that we didn't jump on that bandwagon of very quickly producing stuff online. I mean, we are going to, and at this point when this episode comes out, we will be already out there with our workshops and our stuff. But what I was afraid of, that people are instantly gonna be like, oh, now we can create online, and there's gonna be like, no offense to anyone, but like a lot of shit content, just like a lot, like quantity over quality, whereas like it's no one's gonna take that much information. Like even if you have the whole time in the world, you will still like scroll past it. And yeah, so it's just like being smart about your content, instead of being, okay, everyone's creating, we should do something too. Like do something because you actually want to do something, not because everyone is doing so and every theater company is doing so. I think some of the major theater companies are not even doing that much now. Like they get they can stream like old plays or productions they've already done, but new work, I haven't really.
I've seen that the Old Vic, they are putting out they're like coming up with a performance, and it's like the whole project thing is called the Old Vic on camera or something.
Mhm.
And they are like, people have to actually purchase tickets for it. Excuse the tractor noise in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't
It's
hear
my
it.
neighbor. That's how it is living in a farm. No, just kidding. But yeah, they're doing it, but like, I don't know. I feel a bit skeptical because like I love the interaction of going to the theater. Like, it's just something you cannot replace.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
it's
It's
it's the liveness. Like, we've been learning for like 3 years at university that what makes theater different from TV and film and blah blah. It's the liveness of it, and now we are trying to put it towards like through a lens again.
yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it might be live or it might be, but it's still, you're still not in the room with that person. And for me, that's already like, I already have a struggle with calling it theater
Mhm.
for a reason.
That's
I feel
true.
like
Sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
okay. I think the I can see myself with what we're talking about. Like every generation has their like sort of conservative views. It's like, oh, but we just genuinely don't understand what you're thinking of. And I'm just like what Brian was talking about there. I'm not saying that Brian's a massive conservative complainer weirdo, but like it's I imagine like we know what theatre is to us now. And I feel like if theatre does make that sort of leap to more and more online content so it can be more accessible to people that can't go to theatres, or if there's not a lot of theatre venues that can support the sort of traditional audience that we're used to, or something I'm not sure, something might happen. And I feel like we're going to be all like, oh, that's not what theatre is. And we'll be like the nagging old people say that back in my day, theatres had an actual audience and that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
imagine we're gonna be those people. Those people, because like as Brian said, I just wanted to like at a point where you're like when you arrange to go to theater, like especially if you go to see a bigger production, you arrange that like months in advance. You decide, okay, maybe I'm gonna put my nice blouse on. Gonna go there like gonna get there like half an hour early, get a glass of wine, check my tickets, whatever. Like it's an event, it's an experience. It's not something like, it's not like go to the supermarket and buy milk. Like it's not that casual. It's an occasion. So I mean, it you can do the same in front of the screen, I guess, but it's still not going to be the same. It's like watching the movie at home and watching a movie in the cinema. It's also two different things.
If I can add something to it, I kind of agree and disagree with everyone. Nah, because the way I see it, okay, like traditional theater, if you like just keep the word traditional in this general broad sense, traditional theater is gonna stay there. Like we know that West End, it might be reopening 2021, and the type of the theater that we study at uni is gonna carry on living, because people like us studied it and we want to pursue that road, I guess. But the way I see it, there's a kind of new branch that might arise from this situation, which is maybe theater companies specializing in specific like online theater rather than having a live audience. So if you think that there might be pioneers, let's say, of this kind of new way of entertainment or like education, whatever form of theatrical expression you want to find, you might actually have something with like traditional theater, cinema, and in the middle you might have this kind of branch of like online theater that you don't need audience but it's still theater and things like this. I'm just picturing, as you said, future ambition stuff, but I don't see strictly theater or strictly cinema or film or something that is different from both, but rather like a mix. So I agree and I disagree in general terms.
Yeah, I feel like they will always intertwine. Yeah, but for example, it just came to my head, the National Theatre, like they do National Theatre Live, which is basically presented. I don't know if you guys seen it, but you go to the cinema and you basically watch a film, but it's actually a recording of
Yeah.
a theater performance, and
Are
it's
you
like,
talking about the YouTube streams? The ones
wait,
they upload on YouTube?
oh yeah, it's basically the same, yeah. And I don't know, it like I agree with Steph, like it's probably gonna, like this has taught us that there is something else we can be doing, and I feel like I don't think it's gonna replace it somehow. I don't think it's gonna replace live performances. It's just gonna add up, like
Yeah,
as you said,
exactly.
another branch to it.
Yeah, but I feel like these decisions always come from the times of like not a desperation, but when there is nothing else to do, like you have
Yeah,
nothing else to do, so you're basically pushed to think of something else.
yeah.
And I
Find
think,
other ways.
yeah, so I feel like these solutions always come from these places of uncertainty and being like sense of urgency, like, okay, this is, especially, so we're doing our projects from, you know, our money or no budget at all, and for us it's not, you know, it's more like our hobby, it's not our job yet. But I can imagine people who actually live from it, and like freelancers and actors, and just for them it must be mad. So I feel like they were the first to be like, okay, everything's moving online now. And then I feel like with the engagement as well, you know, people losing jobs, so then you have to make stuff free, and there's, you know, the whole financial side to it. So I don't even want to know how much money was lost, but I just don't feel sorry for West End, because they are robbing people since I don't know when, but like little companies, like they just like started, imagine having like, maybe they just got their first grant or whatever. That's very sad. But if you show Lion King for 50 years, then I mean, don't have much empathy.
It's also because now we are like going through lockdown, that it's more acceptable for actors to, for example, do their self tapes at home, even though they might not have the right background and not the right phone or the right like camera quality and stuff like that. And it's more okay to maybe like produce a scene to put in a show reel, which like before seemed more like like not impossible thing, but not a thing you should do. I think before it was more like, oh, if you don't have a show reel and you need to produce something to put it there, I've maybe you should go work in your part time, maybe get some money, maybe pay one of those companies that actually does show reels, you know. And I feel like now people, after this, people are gonna become more okay with not being so professional and not being so neat. I don't know. What do you think?
Sort of lower their expectations.
Can I just say about showreels for a sec? Like,
I
I don't understand why actors pay people to edit their showreels for them, because, okay, yeah, I'm aware that I'm talking from a position where I know a bit more about technology than the average person, but like, it's not, it's really like not hard to like cut video and then like just put bits together. If
iMovie.
you, yeah, if you have like iMovie or like anything on your
Yeah.
sort of phone for your base app, you can make the show reel simple as that. It's literally just a case of like, it's like a fade in, then it says your name, your spotlight pin number and all of that, then it fades that out, and then it fades in your first clip or whatever it is, and then you like fade out and fade in again. It's literally just that for like a minute and a half maybe.
But if
And
I would have a lot of money to, if I have money to pay for drama school, I would not give a single fuck about the iMovie or whatever apps you have, and I would just pay someone to do a show reel for me, and I would pay for someone to clean my house. So,
God.
as I said,
Fair point.
you learned video editing because you had to, and then you were like, okay, this is interesting, let me do something else. But you would never sit in your room, you know, I don't know, order food in whatever, and be like, you know what, maybe I can do this myself.
People who have money are bad. That's what we're taking from this.
So yeah, what I'm saying is, probably if you have money for drama school, you probably have money for a show reel, and then you just don't really care about it. Because the only reason I didn't go to drama school is because I couldn't have worked at the same time, and I had to. Also, no no tuition fee loans, no maintenance loans. So, as someone who has to like provide for myself, I'm like, I just can't do it. Even as much as I want to, can't really do it.
I'd love for the industry to be like more accessible in general. Like the fact that drama schools are extortionately expensive, and the fees and rates are actually disgusting for the drama schools that are available. It's just really, really elitist. But
I guess you pay also for the contacts you get, for the connections.
Yeah, but
because you go basically graduate and you basically go straight into the industry. It's like a nice shortcut, because they get you the spotlight, they get you an agent,
representation.
So that's what you pay for.
Although pay to win.
This could be like a whole nother conversation.
I do agree. Although they did, maybe my expectations were too high, because I was expecting them to bring in agents, people from, I don't know, every industry possible to like really network. But then I'm also very like anxious. Like, I can talk to you guys because I know you, and I know whatever I say, you won't look at me like, what is she talking about?
I will. I'll look at you like that. It's fine.
Yeah, but I know that it's gonna be the right judgment or whatever.
Yeah. I'm really joking, don't worry.
Yeah, but because I know what they meant now when they said you will graduate and then you will realize how many skills you actually have, because you will meet people who will be, oh, you can do this, like we need this, we need a person with this skill or whatever. And now I realize a little bit, but I'm still not confident enough to just approach someone and like Yusuf, like, hello, I'm great. Do you want to work together? Like, yeah, sure. Like, it's not.
That is very true. Like,
I would never have that much confidence to be like, yeah, I can do that. And because I would just be too afraid to then fail and be like not remembered well, I guess. But I'm not afraid to fail, but it's just not nice. I need to work on that self-confidence and be like, I know my worth as a person, as a girl, as a woman, but as who I am in the industry, I haven't discovered yet. So
yeah, if I can add to that, I think what's Middlesex point, because I've been there for 4 years and I'm gonna go for 7.
Sorry, I can't swear.
And no, I think their point is we can, if you want, we can try give you a hint of what is the outside world, but first we want you to be able to know who you are. Because when you said, yeah, but I know my skills, I know I can do this, but at the same time I'm afraid to fail and things like this, what they want you to have, I guess, is the awareness. Okay, who are you? Being able to describe your practice, to define it in a way that when you go to them, you're confident that what you have is solid for the industry. That I think that for them, there's no point in you meeting an agent if you don't even know what you got or stuff like this. Because if you don't know what you have, they don't do anything with you, because it's just it's a very rough diamond that they might not be interested in taking care of. So I think the point is literally we can try, but you have to mold yourself first, and then.
Yeah. But I haven't really met anyone I want to work with who I would have to sell myself to. Like, all the best projects I was involved in, people were like, not that they noticed me, but it was something that I've done and they maybe liked it, and then there was some kind of conversation happening, It wasn't me approaching someone and just be like, hi, I'm great at this, and maybe you will want to work with me or whatever. Like, I don't know, for me it seems so fake, and I don't know if I will ever be able to do this. Like, just, I don't know.
There is the whole...
Go ahead, John.
Ooh, okay, I'll go. Yeah, there is the whole thing about sincerity and selling yourself, and you do feel a bit like a theatrical prostitute sometimes as an actor. So, like, you're just like on the corner, just like, here's my show reel, give me a job, and it's like, and you always look desperate. That's the thing, and I guess looking for work as an actor is a bit like, it will make you desperate, because there's not a lot of roles that do get you anywhere. A lot of them are for student films or for fringe companies that can't afford to pay you, or other things. So,
or you don't have the accent, or you have brown eyes, or whatever. Like, when
you're perfect for the role, you're just ugly.
Yeah.
When they ask you
Literally.
on like the application, like, what's your height, what's your body type, your hair length, and your color of your eyes, and then are your teeth crooked, or is your nose straight, do you have all your fingers, like, what are, like, all kind of
What kind of roles you apply
stuff, like,
for?
find some people manage to make theater with everyone, like disabled people, trans people, every single person. How can I not get a role if my eyes are not blue? Like, I guess they just want to find, that there's also, I was talking with my cousin, and he's like, my friend said that, oh, maybe he's worried because it's his name, because it's Lithuanian name, so maybe it's gonna be difficult for him to get into the industry. And I'm like, if I could not get a job for 5 years, I wouldn't change my name to make it sound more British or whatever. Like, if you don't like my name, I don't want to work with you. Like, my name shouldn't be some kind of criteria to, like, your name and your surname, and then like the name you prefer to be called. Like,
I'm gonna ask a question that's a little bit more individual. With your individual future ambitions, where would you see yourself in 10 years? So when I'm 31, for example, I don't. Yeah, it's a long way off, and it's a lot to think about. But
I'm gonna be married and I'm gonna have kids.
Yeah.
No one knows.
That's the only thing that matters.
I do not want to get married anytime soon. Actually, no, I lied. I do want to get married at a point, but I don't want kids. That's the thing I don't want. I don't like children. Get out.
Have dogs or cats, whatever.
I just... Well, I don't like you, so that explains it. No, if we're talking a little bit about theatre first and foremost, I do feel like
Sorry.
I do feel like I will just go with what I want, at least what I'm thinking now. Like, I just want to do what I enjoy at the moment. I do enjoy theatre, but this lockdown has brought me back to a lot of other things that I really enjoy as well. So I really enjoy video editing, which is basically why this series is a thing. I really enjoy learning languages, so I'd love to teach English in Germany or something. Not teaching kids, as I said. I don't have the... Whoa, that guy has a massive engine.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
Got a big penis.
No, that's the opposite. the louder.
Oh my god.
Anyway, back to me. But yeah, I just want to do things I enjoy. So, like, if I don't enjoy theatre by the time I'm 31, I obviously won't be doing it anymore. Like, yes, I did a degree in it, and people would ask, like, why you've wasted 3 years to do a subject are you not doing anymore? And I'm like, first off, not a lot of people even like do their degree after they finish it anyway. And this doesn't just apply to theatre or arts things. Like people do loads of business degrees and then never go into the business industry.
Yeah.
And then also I might find a new calling later in life. And thirdly, like, yes, I might have sort of forsaken theatre, but theatre has given me a lot of the tools to get where I will be, wherever I will be. Hopefully not dead and homeless, but hopefully I'll get somewhere nice, and theatre to give me a lot of confidence as a person. It made me a lot more open to talk to people because I was very, very introverted prior to uni. But like, I wouldn't mind being in Germany, doing little fringe theatre things, being all kooky and trying new shit out with lights and video editing. And I don't know, I want to do some like cool contemporary shit that's all pretentious and all of that.
You got 10 years.
Yep, I do. You're holding it to me now.
I just thought that I really want, in 10 years, I really want to not worry about money. I wish, my dream is that people would get paid for doing the smallest things. You know, when you have to work really hard to earn a lot of money, I really wish that we could have enough for everyone. So like no one has to struggle. So yeah, and I just want my English husband and a house, and I want to say kids, but 10 years is a bit But then yeah, I feel like I'm in high school. I want a house and a husband.
I want a car.
But that's really what brings me joy, like the idea of family and, you know, just being settled. But in terms of skills, I wouldn't change. Like if I could do everything I'm doing right now, including makeup, that would be my dream life. Like if I could do what we're doing with Pursued by Dragon, plus finish makeup school, and then do some stuff with makeup, maybe in theater, maybe in film, maybe just the beauty industry, and those two, family, home, and that would be my ideal life. That's like simple. It's a long way to go, but we're working on it. We're working.
Steph, me.
I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, individually in terms of like theater, I see myself still working with the companies that I'm working right now, honestly, and I see that going for 10 years and longer. So I got that trust in all the people I decided to work with. So yeah, but in accordance to that, I would definitely try to work more on my individual career as a performer, as an actor. You know, you always want to try new things, maybe cinema, maybe music, maybe dance. I'm definitely interested in learning how to play an instrument, or like tap dance, or like stuff like that, you know, that might not be specifically very remunerating. I used to say, like, it might not bring you money immediately, but it definitely adds something to your toolkit that you can use in different scenarios. So definitely that. I don't see myself as a big name, although I would like to be a big name. But at the same time, if you know me, if you work with me, you know I like keeping my expectation low, so I can I would say overachieve them. And yeah, in terms of life, I honestly have no clue. I would like to have a partner one day, of course. I have no idea about kids. I have no idea about any, you know, property and stuff. I'm not that materialistic in this terms of. But as long as I'm happy, in 10 years.
I really hope you
fine.
don't struggle that much with the property anymore, Steph.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
trust.
God, you've had a.
Trust. I'm still uncertain about stuff that's in this house.
I can imagine, like this kind of stuff is crazy.
Yeah, now once you used to live kind of in the streets for a while, you get the idea of like, I mean, it's only four walls we can find it somehow.
But
So,
then you put other three people in between those walls, and then it
trust,
goes to
trust. So yeah, no, as I said, like more like personal gratifications rather than material, I would say. 10 years.
Brian.
Anyway.
Brian with his nice house. What else could you wish for?
Well, it's not
Got a
mine.
farm.
Yeah,
It's not his.
It just annoys
my
me.
parents, but
Been
maybe
there the whole day.
maybe one day it'll be mine. Maybe one day you'll all come here.
Yes.
That would be really cool. Actually, that's one of the things I see myself doing, or that I would like to do, would be to travel and do theater whilst traveling. Just from the experience I had with Goat Theater last week. Last week. I wish. No, last year, where we went to this festival in Slovenia. It was just like very nice to like have this balance between you are actually like on holidays, but like you're working, and I don't know. It was like so real. Like I was enjoying doing theater so much because it was also like a relaxed environment, and obviously like we weren't in the middle of a rehearsal process or anything, so it was like we had the show, we had the theater, and like so it was more relaxed obviously. But I would like to do that. I feel like I'm gonna be a lot like Steph, like because I'm the kind of person that has like just shitloads of interests, like different random interests, and that I'll try and pursue. Like maybe one day, oh, I would like to learn about fishing or something, and I will go, and then I'll be like, oh, tomorrow I would like to learn about tap dancing or something.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
yeah, I think professionally, I've always had like big ambitions. Not that I have high expectations, but I have like big things that I would like to achieve. And one of the most important things for me is to be influential in a way, not like an influencer, but more like have
I'm an influencer.
have financial power and have the knowledge to be able to have some kind of impact in smaller causes, whether that is the LGBTQ movements all around the world and that kind of stuff. And I think that will translate into what I do in theater as well. As far as social life, I do want to be a parent. Like I really want to be a parent because I don't know, I think the idea of raising someone is very challenging, but very interesting.
Yeah.
To like educate someone, I feel like it's so powerful, and I want to see what what my result, like what my education on someone else is, you know what I mean, like my little project. I don't want to call it this, but I find it very interesting to like, what will this person grow up to be with the education I gave to them, you know. Very interesting. And like the choices you make in like terms of religion, in terms of like gender, in terms like what are like, are you going to grow up your kid being a vegetarian, like, you know, like these things I think are very interesting.
I think so too, although I feel like I would be like, just do because I have this very it's not an interesting mindset. It's just that do whatever you want, but just don't go against morals, like general moral system. Like don't kill, don't cheat, don't steal, don't lie. I don't know, like these little things. But like you can do whatever you want. Just stay like true to yourself and don't do bad things. But try to explain that to a child. Like they have to go through some bad stuff to learn.
I would like to see Brian get annoyed by his kid being a little shit or something at some point. I've never seen him angry.
Like, I haven't seen myself angry, like honestly.
And then
maybe
your kid just walking off a cliff. It's like, yeah, okay, walk off a cliff. See what goes that does you. You're not bothered.
Maybe,
It's
yeah.
like,
If he's a little shit, I'm gonna be like, just be it. Then I don't care. No, I'm joking.
You have to go through your being a shit kid phase to grow up to a decent adult, I feel like.
I feel like he'd be good at the disappointed dad thing. Like my
I feel like you guys are saying this because me with this beard, I always get that I'm like 28 years old, so I'm like ready to be a father already. So that's why you guys are looking at me and be like,
I had a meeting with someone like a few weeks ago, and I was like, I looked at, I think, did I shave? I can't remember. Maybe I didn't, maybe I did. But like right now, I feel like I look quite young. But then I was like, just chatting with him, we're just like networking or whatever. And then he was just like, how old are you, by the way? And I'm like, oh, I'm 21. It's like, oh, you look a lot older. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
Nice. Like, it's not very, I guess it's an okay thing to say, not the nice thing. Like, it definitely sounds better if you say, oh, you look younger. And I just like, I have a list of things that I keep checking every day and then adding some, removing some. Okay, I would like to achieve this, and so I will need to do that, blah, blah, blah. But then I realized that if it's not gonna happen, it's okay. So it's like, if it happens, so good, but then if it doesn't happen, it's okay. So it saves you so much of your mental health. It's insane.
I mean, personally, I think individually you can place it anywhere. In my personal opinions, I don't know if it's the same with you guys, but since you are a kid, some other people set the line for you. It's not you deciding it. I remember when I did theater for the first time when I was 6, people started comment at me saying, "Oh yeah, you comment when you win an Oscar and you're 6." And you don't even know what that is, what that means, but people start drawing the line for you. And growing up, you kind of, not saying that you believe in it, but you kind of feel like maybe it is possible. Maybe, I mean, but people already set the bar for you. Sometimes they draw the line for the ambition because they're mature, they're adult, they know what's outside. So I guess when you grow older, I feel like you start getting your own dimension, being like, yeah, maybe these people were just picturing something that personally I don't see myself. And but I believe you can be ambitious. You can be very ambitious, but still keep that level of serenity and tranquility. Because I remember my granddad and my uncle always pushed me to watch National Geographic or like animal documentaries, because they were saying like, if you look at these animals, okay, it doesn't matter, ambition is not a thing. It's a human thing that we as animal we developed. But if you think in the long big cycle of nature, there's no need of ambition. The only thing you need is the basics. But of course I mean, I don't say that we should just sleep, eat, and do this stuff all day. But I'm saying that in the big picture, ambition is good, but it's not as good as necessary as serenity and tranquility. And I say that now, but I'm aware that because of my age, in the future I might regret what I'm saying now. I might be like, fuck me, when I was 20 I should have been ambitious. You know what I'm saying? Now I got the age that it's a privilege to say, okay, I'm okay, I'm not that ambitious. But in the future I might be like, damn it, I should have just
should have been more ambitious.
yeah, no, I wish Ryan pushed me more. I wish Eva and Josh pushed me more.
Shall we wrap up there then?
Yeah.
Cool. So, usual business. These will be released every Tuesday, and you'll see probably me because I edit these, so and record them and all that. You'll see some of us every week. Give us give us a comment, give us a subscribe. All of those things. Go, yeah.
Visit pursuedbydragon.com because it's gonna be full of updates, because I posted some projects, but they're not all of them yet. And yeah, Instagram, Twitter, Pursuit by Dragon, all the news there.
Woo! Yes,
Woo!
we shall see you next week.
See you next week, my people.
Ciao, ciao.